What's going on, gamers? We got a Fanboy article here that I have to react to. Now, I want to make something known real quick before I get into this. One, I'm looking forward to the Steam Machine launching to join into the console market as a PC as a console-like device. I think that diversity is needed, and I welcome it with open arms. But this guy is clearly not seeing things intelligently, so I have to say, Mr. Nick Rodriguez, it's time to challenge him because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you is that the Steam Machine coming in, if it was going to bother anything, it's going to be the Xbox, and it's going to be something that could probably fill in that gap right now towards the end of this generation, and that's a good thing because it's needed. This guy, like, there's some headlines here that I think are funny. We're going to get into this. So you guys let me know what you think. Here we go. It says, Steam Machine hardware has me worried about the PS5's long-term future. I found it when I was looking on Resetera over here, and there was highlights about what he said. So I'm like, I got to see this full article. Then we can take a look at that, but it's all going to be right here. The first thing is, why would you be worried about PlayStation 5's long-term future? They just extended it. That's a good thing. It's going to be fine. It has GTA 6. Steam Machine it's not going to get GTA 6. It's not going to get all those PlayStation exclusives day one. So you're going to have to wait on that. I mean, Sony's future is secured, just like Nintendo's, and Steam's future is secured on Xbox. I mean, not Xbox, on yeah, isn't that funny? It's secured on the PC platform, unlike Xbox. And Valve is just going to extend out their ecosystem into a PC console-like experience, and they've already done that to like a Switch-like handheld as well. So those are extensions of the big base of Steam. Steam's biggest base will always be what's on PC. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the Steam Machine. Valve said if that thing sold 10 million, they would jump for joy. You know what I mean? That would be insane. PlayStation 5 is going to sell over 100 million easily. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not a comparison. And the PS6 is going to sell a lot. Sony just has to do it the right way. So that's not really something to worry about. But we have a lot more to talk about in this article. It gets pretty interesting. Going down here, though, it says the Steam Machine is set to release in early 2026, hopefully if it doesn't get delayed. And it has a chance to shake up the industry in a major way. I don't know about that, but that wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, I'm not going to be hating. Granted, Valve's first attempt at a home console was a bit of a blunder. Because, like, your price is going to be $700+ no matter what for 512 as a base of storage. And the Pro is $750. Like, I don't know, man. They won't even buy that like that, except for GTA 6 probably. And that sale, that was down to $650. And the spec difference between that price point is major. But after the company's earth-shattering success with the Steam Deck, what are you talking about? Dude, the Vita was deemed a failure and it sold 15 million. 14, actually. I don't understand. This is how I knew this guy was like a fanboy, because it's like earth-shattering success would have been like 30 million for the Steam Deck. It barely sold 5 million in like 5 years or something. Dude, that's not earth-shattering success. That's very niche. The Series X is considered, and S is considered a failure at 30 million, 32 million, and people are making fun of that. Though that to me is not that bad, but against your competition, it's like, yeah, I mean, the Wii U, people made fun of that for selling 15 plus something million. You see what I'm saying here? It's like, if we really want to look at the real picture, dude, what are you talking about? No, man. And nothing against the Steam Deck. I'm just saying, that's not no earth-shattering success. What is wrong with you? And if we go over here and Resetera, a lot of people say the same thing. Let's go down here. Granted, Valve's attempt at a home console is a bit of a blunder, right? And he's like, which was? But after the company's earth-shattering success with the Steam Deck, what? He's like, what dude, what? Which was, it was also called Steam Machine. This guy says right here, let's go down here. It was also called the Steam Machine, right? This guy says LMAO game rant indeed, because they're telling this guy's a fanboy. This is basically a blog post considering the publication is game rant. We haven't hit Vita numbers yet. Be for effing real. No, I'm just saying, it's like, what, dude, what are you talking about here? Just shut up, please. Like, you're not going to make yourself look well. If you're going to represent Valve, be intelligent. So he says, so something like the Steam Machine doesn't seem like such a crazy idea. I think the Steam Machine's a good idea. In fact, Valve reports that the Steam Machine is 6 times as powerful as the Steam Deck, but that's not saying much, bro. It's weaker than the PS5. It's going to be more than a PS5 Pro, damn near, probably. And that comes with a 2 terabyte. And while this is mostly marketing speak, power is a vague and complex concept in gaming tech and isn't a linear spectrum. For sure, Nintendo has proven that. It's not unfounded. Compared to the Steam Deck, the Steam Machine has considerably more compute, a new generation CPU, and DDR5 RAM availability. I mean, bro, the PlayStation handheld and the ROG Ally is already way more powerful. You see what I mean? It's like, that doesn't really matter. While still using the same general architecture as the Deck. To put things in perspective, all Steam Deck models have 8 compute units of way of measuring processing power, while the Steam machine has 28, putting it in bold conversation with Sony and Microsoft's next generation consoles. Yeah, but way more expensive, and it's coming out 6 years later. The PlayStation 5 is king, but perhaps not for long. Oh my God, dude. Like, see, this is where I'm like, this is where I'm like the fanboy mentality, where it's like, what are you talking about? It's not a threat to PlayStation, dude. It's not coming to beat. Like, Valve already stated that. We're not going to be able to do that. You know what I mean? That's not what we're here for. We're not subsidizing. We're not launching this thing at $399 and even then, they wouldn't even be getting that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not launching like that. You clearly have the wrong idea of what the Steam machine is manifested for. Same thing for the Steam Deck. Just like, that's like saying, oh, the Steam Deck is, Nintendo is not going to be king in the handheld market. I feel like saying, whoa, what? The Switch sold 154 million. Switch 2 is going to sell over 100 million. It's not going to bother it at all. It's the same situation in a console-like perspective where these devices sell over 100 million. And that's going to sell like 5 million. If it sold more than 5 million and it sells 10 million, Valve is going to be jumping for joy. You see what I mean? So you saying the PlayStation 5 is king, actually Nintendo is king, along with PlayStation, because Nintendo won the whole thing. PlayStation won as well too, because they won against Xbox. So if you mean in that sense, I get what you're saying. But perhaps not for long. I'm sorry, dude, but I don't know what you're smoking, but stop. So let's keep going down to this Fanboy article. It says, so the so-called big three of gaming console manufacturers have been Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, at least for the past 3 decades or so. But while the three were in fairly direct competition in the early to mid 2000s, focusing on a wide variety of games, experimenting with different ideas and strategies, and making use of even more powerful hardware, things began to change with the launch of PS3, 360, and Wii. Nintendo became much more experimental with its hardware, an approach that would eventually pay off with the Switch, while Xbox and PlayStation competed, though, among other things, console exclusives. Yeah, Xbox slowly deprioritized Xbox exclusives because they didn't have a choice, and now seemingly abandoned the practice altogether, leaving the PS5 as a de facto home console. It has the most AAA games and the fewest compromises. So PlayStation has won its war with Xbox, yeah. But it was a war fought with soon-to-be obsolete weapons and strategies. The Steam machine is going nuclear. Guys, this guy is high on Steam, I'm telling you. Oh, man. He's not in touch with reality. He's going to be disappointed with reality. We're just trying to bring him down to reality. Sony can't possibly be ready for the Steam machine if it meets expectations. Dude, I don't know what to tell you, bro, but in the PC market price range, you're not living in reality here, man. You're clearly like just being delusional. PC gaming has several advantages over console gaming, but these are often overlooked by general audiences. It could be because PC gaming seems culturally distant from console gaming or more impenetrable due to its DIY nature. Gaming consoles require little to no setup or calibration, whereas even pre-built PCs need to be fiddled with to some degree. PC gaming culture also lacks the brand loyalty and heritage of console gaming. Well, when you think about, honestly, nah, man, because people don't want to move off of the Steam profile. So, I mean, if you think about Valve and Steam in the PC world, that's where the loyalty is at. But each of these factors, while perhaps drawbacks normally, may either disintegrate or be flipped into a positive via the Steam machine. Console and PC gaming are differentiated in many ways, but none is more significant than the issue of decentralization. In the case of PlayStation, much of the user experience is dictated solely by the whims of Sony itself. Consumers have no real recourse if they find a PlayStation Store unsatisfactory. I mean, but that's kind of hard. You know what I mean? It's like it has what you need. What's the problem here? And they both use Linux. It's a great thing. For instance, whereas a PC user could simply switch to a different launcher, dude, nobody's going to want to do that. Everybody goes to Steam. If not, you're particularly going to GOG for a certain reason. It's like, it's not that complicated, bro. If I'm going on PC, if I have a Mac, it's just Steam only. You know what I mean? Or maybe GOG. If I have Linux, I'm going on Steam. You see what I mean? What do I need anything else for? So, like, you trying to make it seem like that diversity is like, it's not really going to work, man. Like, so For instance, whereas a PC user can simply switch. It's like, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but you got all the Xbox games on PlayStation. You got all their exclusives. Most third parties that PC have, they're kind of like similar in that sense. You just don't get Nintendo games neither. Steam itself was forged in these conditions, which is why it's one of just a few examples of the free market working as intended. Yeah, it's great. And it's private. They need to stay private. Steam is the most popular games launcher as a direct result of its consumer friendliness. Yeah. Backwards compatibility is another area of where any Windows or Linux-based gaming platform easily outperforms consoles, especially PlayStation. Yeah, but a lot of that stuff is shovelware, man. Like, and you can play PlayStation 4 games. You can play certain PS3 games. You can play PS2 games and PS1 games. Like, and you get all of Xbox games now. I mean, when you really think about it, man, it's not really missing much if you have PlayStation and Nintendo. Outside of that, you just want what Steam has that's not on there, and a lot of that is indie and shovelware. So, I mean, there's some things they have, you know what I mean? But if you have all three, obviously you're covered. So it's about what you can't get anywhere else. And PC doesn't have as many exclusives as you think when it comes to stuff like that. It's just like a lot of stuff that people are not that much interested in. You just have to be into it. It just depends, you know what I mean? To this day, support for pre-PS4 games on PS5 is lackluster. What? And inconsistent, with many games only accessible through PlayStation's premium streaming service. But as long as a game has had a PC release, dude, all digital games are there. What are you talking about? And you can do physical. It will probably be playable on the Steam machine. Any Linux-compatible launchers and games can be booted on Valve's upcoming console. The problem with that, though, is that the specification difference between the Steam machine and the PS5 Pro is significant for the price range and the similarity of price there. The reason why I say that is because it's going to sell just as much as that in a certain spectrum. Whereas the base PS5 will obviously sell way more than it already did. So we got to look at like price value difference. If you want to compare the base PS5 price, and sometimes it's $399 to that being like $750 or whatever it's going to be, dude. And you have access to all those games on Plus, whereas Steam does not have a service like that. You can say, okay, I'm paying Valve this monthly fee, and I can get access to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games. Sony's cloud service has more access than Microsoft's. You see what I'm saying? You don't have that. You have to buy the game only. Not to say you wouldn't want to do that, but I'm saying there's no physical either. It just depends on how you look at it. Like, they're both great in their own way. So any Linux-compatible launchers and games can be booted on Valve's upcoming console. Beyond that, the Steam Deck is excellent for PS1, PS2, and PS3. And even 360 emulation. Yeah, that's cool. But that's a niche audience. Further broadening users' horizons in a way that traditional consoles like the PlayStation 5 simply cannot. I'm sorry, dude, like, this guy is too much of a fanboy in this post. It should be assumed that the Steam machine will be the same way. All told, Steam has the largest and most diverse gaming library. Yeah. Not just because of classic games, but also because of indies that haven't been ported to consoles yet. And because Xbox and PlayStation have both spent the past few years migrating their exclusives to PC. Indeed, with some notable exceptions, there are almost no games that you can play on PS5 or Series X that aren't also available on PC. Dude, there's games that never come there. There's a lot of Sony exclusives that are just only on PlayStation and that just don't get ported over. You got like most of the big stuff, yeah. But it's like you don't get everything though. And there's just some games that just don't ever port. They're just not coming. It's like Microsoft can't go back to Forza Horizon 4 and put that on PlayStation 5, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. You're not getting Demon's Souls, Gran Turismo 7, you know. I can just keep going along. It's like you don't have those games, and there's a lot of games that are just not there. You don't have like GT games and all that type of stuff. Like it's not there. You don't have Bloodborne, like, and they're most likely gonna do the same thing with the other ones. Sony does not give you every exclusive, but you do get a good amount. That's why I was like, to me, it's like I have it because I want to play my games day and day. The diminished returns are so high. The Steam machine is weaker than the PS5. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm gonna be getting better performance. They both use Linux on my PS5 Pro, and it's going to get PSSR 2. This is no competition here. You know what I mean? It's like down the line, when you're thinking about that device, like 3 years from now, when PS6 games are coming out, you're going to have some problems, man. If you only have that device, I don't even know. It's going to be hard. Like, it's like there's going to be some performance problems there. So it's like it really depends on how you look at things. So he says, as Valve has noted, In the device's marketing, the Steam Machine is a fully functioning Linux PC, not just a dedicated gaming system. Yeah, which is good. No Windows. Meanwhile, the PS5 doesn't even have a fronted browser app anymore. Dude, nobody needs a browser. You got cell phones, all this other stuff. Come on, man. That is to say nothing of the Steam Machine's other strengths, like completely free online multiplayer. Yeah, that's pretty nice, but the price difference once again, and the absence of frustrating practices like $10 to $20 next gen upgrades. Dude, there's no $20 upgrade, man. It's $5 and $10 if you want to do that. But I mean, I get what you're saying. You can add that in. That's something to add in. But these are strengths of PC gaming more broadly. If the market is insane now, dude, you don't even know the price of this. This could be more than $700 just for the 512. The 2 terabyte could be like $900. And you think, oh, I could buy a PS5 for $399, digital only, and you're still charging $400 plus more dollars. You know how many years of plus online that is? You tell me when it gets to that point, it doesn't matter, man. Like, and you can get that on sale, or you can wait, and you can get that when you need it, and you don't need it to play every game online, just certain online games. You don't need it for any single player game or any free to play game. And when you do get that, you have access to all these games on services. If you want to wait and say, oh, I'm getting a service now just that month, so I can spend like $15 or $10 or get 3 months on sale and be able to save myself $200 plus probably, or something like that. So it's like, just depends on how you look at it. The Steam Machine's real test will be whether it can match a traditional console's ease of use and overall convenience. Steam OS has proven to be a terrific console-like experience on the Steam Deck. Yeah. So there's no reason to believe that that won't be the case with the Steam Machine. Yeah, I think it'll be fine and solid for like past entry level, a little bit past entry level specs. This is weaker than PS5. And when you think about that in 2026, because the PlayStation 5 launched 2020, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's like they're doing a Nintendo method, which, you know, that works. It's okay because they're not looking to sell 30, 40, 50, 60 million. So there's no reason to believe that that won't be like the same thing with the Steam Machine. He's saying this won't be the only hurdle for the Steam Machine, though. Pricing will make or break the Steam Machine. Dude, they already admitted it's going to be at least $700 plus. This is where you're just missing the point when the PS5 base could be $399, digital only. You see, because Steam Machine is not disc. It's digital only, anyways. The biggest question mark surrounding the Steam Machine right now is its price, which Valve remains tight-lipped about. $700 minimum, dude. Everybody knows this. That is so important for a few reasons. Now, the least of which being the rising cost of gaming hardware and video game themselves, and the fact that, technically speaking, the PS5 and Xbox Series X are quite cheap for what they offer hardware-wise. Building a PC with PS5's adjacent power will cost much more than simply buying a PS5. Yeah, definitely now today. We know that Sony sells its consoles at a loss in exchange for bringing more users into its ecosystem. So perhaps the Steam Machine will do the same. How are you going to be this much of a fanboy and not realize what Valve told you they're not subsidizing? No, dude, it's not going to happen. They said that. After all, Valve does take the 20 to 30% of each Steam sale for games that generate a certain amount of revenue. I can't believe this guy said that when they said they're not subsidizing. It's not going to happen, and they may be forced to jack the price up even further if they didn't prepare with the materials. So the Steam Machine's real test will be whether it can match a traditional console's ease of use and overall convenience. Because if Valve does intend to profit from each Steam Machine, they do, the device could wind up being quite expensive. Now you're actually saying something smart. Some analysts and leakers have even suggested that it could retail for as much as $1,000. That was upmark. I think it's going to be, like I said, between like $700, $800, and then the other one like $900 probably, or something like that. So here's the thing, guys. This is pretty much the thing. And then he says, like down here, ultimately, though, Steam Machine seems poised to overthrow PlayStation 5 in nearly every way, delusional, which is concerning for any owners of Sony's current console. I can't believe this guy. What is wrong with this dude? He doesn't know what he's talking about. So, yeah, guys, you see this fanboy post. These people are just laughing at him. You know, not a ton of great insight or speculation. I mean, the Steam Machine might go nuclear, perhaps. I doubt it, but this article certainly hasn't done much to convince me of it. Am I missing out on a joke? There's nothing in the article to suggest why the Steam Machine could disrupt the industry. It reads like a fanboy throwing its wishes, and it's embarrassing. Like, this guy says, even if it's 500, I would not expect it to go nuclear. And I doubt it would be anything less than 800. It might be 700. That's the cheapest. And it's going to be a niche product. Yeah, he's correct. This guy says, LOL, this is dog shit. You know, he's like, yeah, I mean, come on. This article is fanboy. And that's why I had to call it out, and I had to get on it. So I want you guys to let me know what you think. Leave some comments down below. Peace out, y'all. Have a great night, morning, wherever you're at. Keep gaming no matter what platform you're on. Steam is awesome. This guy, the problem in this video is the fanboy. There's nothing wrong with Steam. There's nothing wrong with Steam Machine. Nothing wrong with the Steam Deck. All great devices. Later.